Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tim Hollanden. I'm one of the founders of the Freedom Team. And we are blessed today to have Larry White with us. He's got over 600 agents in his organization, 17 years in the real estate business. He's positioned himself with eXp, obviously, being the forward-thinking company that it is. Huge agent, top producing agent, 3,000 agents in his organization, and or excuse me, 3,000 agent organization is what he's built. 300, I think, is or 600 is in his. And just really excited to hear this. Larry, please expand on that. Let's hear about kind of where you've been as it relates to real estate. Then we'd love to hear about how you attract, what has worked, what hasn't worked. I know there's a lot of ways to attract. We've got people that make just phone calls. We've got people that send email messages and text messages, which is a violation of the attraction pledge, obviously, and to some extent. But tell us about your organization, your career, and thank you, as Jeff said, for being on here. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll start just giving you guys kind of a little background on myself. Is I think it's pretty relatable. Like no matter where agents are, I can generally relate. As a solo producing agent out of Phoenix, Arizona, me and a couple of assistants, we were doing about 60 deals a year. I got really big. I mean, Phoenix was kind of the mecca for REO, for default, for foreclosure in the last cycle. I got really big into that and I never left it. And so I continued to build my team there in Phoenix, Arizona. We were doing about 400 deals a year. I remember my goal was to do a deal every single day. We never quite hit that. I think 322 deals was kind of our peak. So it was a deal every business day, which was acceptable to me. It was a lot of fun and stuff there. And it was interesting. I got recruited by some of the default companies. So a lot of these asset management companies that hand out listings also had brokerages. And so one of them was like, I was at KW at this point in time. I was doing 300 and something deals a year. They had rolled out the red carpet for me, gave me everything I could have ever asked for. And one of my clients came and was like, Larry, why don't you come help us with this startup company? And I was like, why in the hell would I do that? I am so happy right now. I'm so happy with my broker, right? And this was kind of the first part of like noticing that change was acceptable, because they came to me and they were like, Larry, if you join us, we'll give you 500 listings next year. And I was like, damn it, where do I sign this paperwork? And so very soon, I went to join a company. It was called Carrington Real Estate Services. We were owned by Carrington Mortgage Holdings. They had 17 different companies: property preservation, asset management, title, escrow, every piece of the real estate transaction. And when I went over there, very quickly, I feel like the cream always rises to the top, whether it's eXp, whether it's a mortgage company, anywhere, right? Like when you add massive value to people, I truly feel like you are compensated by how much value you add to other people. And so I made a big splash there and quickly became their head of business development and the regional director of growth. And we helped grow that company from 286 agents to almost 3,000 agents across the country based on the foreclosure market. It was abundant. And so I would look and see what cities had the most foreclosures coming in, what was coming into our pipeline. And I would basically go open up offices, teams, etc. I did that for about 8 years. And then one of my largest clients was Zome, Mr. Cooper, Nation Star. They're the fourth largest lender in the country. They were like, at one point, we were carrying almost 2,000 listings at a time from them. And I ran this company like a large team, to where I would say, okay, Jeff, look, you're in Colorado Springs. I have a listing here. I'm going to give this to you, and we're going to split it 50-50, which was essentially how we kind of built that. Because we had so many listings, these weren't leads, these were listings, right? It made it a much easier conversation. So my largest client recruited me to build out their referral network and implement their membership platform. Our whole goal was to take that company public. And that didn't actually, a couple of those companies, the goal was to take them public, and that never quite happened. But the interesting part was when I was first introduced to eXp, I was super skeptical. I think I came here when there was about 3,000 agents or so. Nobody knew who eXp was, right? Like it was EX what, right? Like nobody had ever heard of eXp, a lunch and learn, or anything like that. And when I was at Carrington, it's kind of funny because I had my largest territory in California was ran by Jerry Stapp. My largest team leader was Joseph Lino. And then one of his best friends was James Cottrell, who had seen this eXp explained. And I think it was like an hour-long video that he watched at that point in time. And so he brought it up the pipeline, right? Like, so the roles kind of reversed, right? So where James was like, Joseph, you got to look at this. And Joseph was like, Jerry, you got to look at this. And so when I parted ways with Carrington, Jerry Stapp is a very religious man. And he was sitting there, he was on vacation in Maui. He called me on vacation because I sent out a video to everybody. And I was like, guys, look, it's been a fun career here at Carrington, but my time is gone and it's time for me to move on. And he calls me. He's like, Larry, I've been praying about this. I didn't know how I was going to break up with you, right? But like, literally, I was praying all day on the beach. And then I got your video, like, it's a sign. I was like, Jerry, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like, what do you need, right? He's like, can you watch this video? And I was like, you want me to watch a video? Like, fine, I'll watch a video. And I got it, and it was an hour. And I was like, you want me to watch an hour video? Like, I don't even watch movies right now. Like, you want me to watch an hour video? He's like, please. And so I did it. And he was like, just give me your feedback on it. I was like, all right, fine, send it over. And so I watched this video, and I'm being fully honest. I was like, look, it's a fine model, right? Like there's nothing wrong with it, but I've been there before, right? I came from KW. And the interesting part about me coming from KW was the fact that I brought the reason I got such a sweetheart of a deal, one, because my team was doing so much production, but two, I brought 25 agents with me. All of the agents in that brokerage came with me. And so with that, like they were like, oh my gosh, like this is going to change your life, blah, blah, blah. I had heard stories of, the robbed legs and this and that over there. And so I remember calling my mom at the age of 29 being like, Mom, I don't think I'm ever going to have to work again. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're 29 years old right now. And I was like, no, there's this company and there's profit share. My largest profit share was $238. Now, here's the thing. That's not good. That's not bad. That's better than most companies. I couldn't even take my team to a nice lunch, right? Like I could buy them all pizza and stuff like that if we're prospecting, but like I couldn't do much with that. And so I was skeptical. I was like, Jerry, I've seen this before. I've been at KW. He's like, no, this is different. I was like, okay, well, look, right place, right time. I'm not leaving my license at Carrington. So I'll bring my license over, right? And that was kind of it. I was very skeptical. I was never doing it. I was also working a corporate, like my largest client had recruited me. So I had a corporate position in real estate. And when I was at Zone building out this referral network, I had to have my license. So it was hung with eXp, and I was a secret agent because for the first 2 years, I was employed by a real estate company that had to love everybody. I had to love Coldwell Banker and KW and eXp. Like it didn't matter. I was brand ambiguous. And so I think the first year, I had told a couple of people about it, just close friends and stuff. I brought in like 7 or 8 agents, and it grew to like 36 people, which had never happened at any other company that I'd ever been associated with. Like my companies, like I would say, look, guys, if you refer an agent to us, right, like we'll give you a $250 gift card. And when I would stop those campaigns, it would stop, right? Like it was never growing. This one, with me being a secret agent, 7 or 8 agents turned into 36, and it produced $28,000 that first year in revenue share. And I was like, huh, that's real money, right? It's not enough for me to leave my job or anything like that, but that's real money. And so the second year, I'm still a secret agent. And I think I had about 17 agents total in my group. Now, these are productive agents, right? Like these guys are like the ones that have been with me from the start, 4 or 5 year icon agents. They have groups and teams and stuff like that. So from that point, my 17 agents turned into almost 80 agents. And it produced like $65,000 in revenue share. And I was like, holy shit, this could really work, right? Like, and I'm like, damn, I'm just doing this part time. So at that point, my wife and I, we go down to Cabo for the mastermind, right? And we're down there at Cabo. I forget what the event is called now. Some version of Build, and we're sitting there, and my wife's with me, and she's a stay-at-home mom at the time. We have, our kids are younger at that point. She's staying home, etc. And she's listening to these folks on stage, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? And my wife and I, we hold each other accountable. We have a beautiful relationship. Like, we talk about everything. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, and this was the killer. She's like, why are you playing so small? And I was like, oh, damn, babe. Like, what do you mean? And she's like, you have more experience, you know more agents, right? You've built these networks and this, like, why are you not going all in? But I had this corporate job, I was flipping some homes. My job was to make sure, like, I needed some security, right? Like, to make sure that our family was taken care of and stuff. And that was my primary focus. And revenue share is not this instant gratification. When I hear people come in and, oh, like, I'm going to stop working. Like, no, that's not how this model works. It's based off of production. This should be a bonus. This should be an exit strategy and just be part of your daily routine. It shouldn't be your only routine. And so I was like, and I was telling her, well, I'm trying to do all of these different things to make sure that we continue our lifestyle and stuff like this. And she's like, well, look, she was an agent back in Vegas. We live in Houston, Texas now. She's like, I'll get my license here. I'll make sure that the bills are paid. And I still have a lot of relationships and stuff like that. I'll make sure the bills are paid and you go forward with this. And so at that point, I parted ways from my corporate position. She got a real estate license. And that next year, we went from 80 to 150 people in our organization, because I really just focused all of my effort and energy on that. And then from that point, oh man, the wheels just came off. I think we went from 150 to 400 the next year. And it was just like $300,000 in passive income at that point in time, which was it was more than I had ever made in any corporate structure that I've ever worked at. And I've always been in like senior level executive positions. Yet the freedom and the flexibility, I had never seen anything. And so, one of the things that relates with me with all of those people on stage, and I've never seen this at another company, is like, this company has literally changed our life. Like, I've seen this company change people's life because of the stock, because of revenue share, because of the amount of business, like in the Revenues program. That is a bold statement coming in from real estate, other than, I like my broker. Yes, you should like your broker, right? Like, that's status quo. That's like when an agent comes and tells me, oh, Larry, I'll sell that property in the shortest amount of time for the highest price. I'm like, no shit, that's your job. Like, don't come and tell me that you're going to do your job. Like, what are you going to do above and beyond, right? Like, let me see your social media. Like, how many people is this going to get to? Show me some stats of what you do different and better than your competition. So fast forward, I'm going on 7 years now here at eXp. I brought in 39 people personally into my organization. 25 of those are qualifiers, which is a pretty high ratio at this point. And yeah, we are growing. So I spend most of my time focusing on helping our group grow at this point in time, setting up a lot of appointments. And when I talk to agents, I I have a database now of 10,000 agents. This I started building my database probably, I would say, 4 years ago. I would say, and it probably started with about 900 that I had. Like my whole goal, I don't care if it's real estate, if it's mortgages, if it's attraction, you have to add to your database every single day, and you have to add massive value to them. I don't care what CRM you use. It can be scratch sheets of paper. It can be KV Core. It could be Chime. It could be the ones that you get for free. Like, I use CRM Grow, and I think I'm kind of stuck there for life at this point. I tried to switch CRMs one time, and transferring 10,000 people and tasks and follow-ups and all of this, I was like, it's not worth it. Like I can't do it at this point. And so that's kind of been the journey. It's been life changing at this point in time, and I mean, just the collaboration. I've had some of your guys as leaders on my Friday wealth building mastermind calls, and like this doesn't happen in other organizations, guys. Right? Like other top producing agents helping out like other agents like is almost non-existent. Like I've seen people that are like friendly, like if oh yeah, they're nice, maybe they go grab a drink or something, they're not telling you their business plan, they're not etching out how to do this. You have the opportunity to learn and collaborate with some of the top producing, like literally the top producing agents in the country. And that's not BS, that's not fluff. If you took our top 50 teams at eXp, it would be just in production, the number 7 brokerage out of production. That's just our top 50 teams. Now you add in the other, 90,000 agents and stuff like that. And with what we're doing with our leadership now, I love Leo kind of in that CEO role. Wendy Forsyth, who is now our head of marketing, she was my mentor. Like she will run circles around most of us. Her first year in production, she did almost 100 deals, right? Then she was the leader. It was called the Sweat Hogs. I forget what coach that was for, but she was their head trainer. She went to help grow the #1 brokerage in Canada, came down to Better Homes and Gardens. And that's who I reported into at Carrington. So a lot of everything that I do is really influenced by her. So when she joined our leadership, I was like, yes, like this is beautiful because she speaks at every Inman conference, right? So the publication and stuff that she gets, and our leadership and growth, oh my gosh, like Russ Lagan and Amanda, oh my, like just our leadership alone is outstanding. So this has been life changing for me. I love to hear more of these stories, which is why, I come in and share. And if there's any question, like if there's anything that I can spit, just so this isn't a lecture, right? If there's anything that I can share with you guys, scripts or this or that, like Tim, where do you want to kind of guide this conversation, sir?
Well, first of all, I love your story. You and I came to eXp about the same time. There were 2,800 agents when I joined in March of 2018. I brought 6 people, had 42 at the end of the first year, went to 100 at the end of the second year. Life changing, went all in on attraction for a while. But the difference between you and me is you put your pedal to the metal, and I kind of coasted. And they say this can happen, so I'm being real vulnerable here. I'd like to know, because I got real frustrated when the agents I never should have recruited in the first place started leaving because they weren't selling any houses, because they wouldn't sell houses no matter where they were. And that kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, because I'd add 2 or 3 and I'd lose 4 or 5. And, and it's still to this day, I'm still a little burnt out on the whole process, honestly. But so I'm approaching 300. You're at about 600. What did you do to keep yourself motivated? And what specifically are you doing to attract, if anything, today? Or let's ask that in a better way. What have you been doing that works? And back to my earlier question too, anything you tried that didn't work? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you do me a favor? Can you give me the ability to share my screen?
Yes.
Beautiful. So that is frustrating, right? And this would be the first part of kind of what I tell you is like I have created the mantra, the mindset that I don't have to work with everybody. So this is my offboarding report. So I have 600 that I brought on. I've lost 750. What I have noticed, so if you look at this list, these are a bunch of zeros. There's one agent that had 12 deals closed. She was here for 2 years. So she did 6 deals a year, right? Like, so at first, like, this is, I look at my reporting and stuff, I track and measure. I was also a Tom Ferry coach for about 8 years. So I track and measure everything because the numbers will tell you if what you're doing is right or wrong.
Yep. They don't
Right?
lie.
Yeah, they definitely don't lie. And so this is no, like, I had to get over the ego side of that. Like, oh, they left me. They never tapped in. They never came to our masterminds. They never signed up for webinars. They never showed up. They didn't do anything. EXP is not the secret bullet, right? Like, it's not the secret formula. It has the tools and resources for any of us to build whatever we want at this point in time. But I run into the same frustration, but that is one of the biggest things that I notice is that the people that leave didn't tap in. Like the average, like when I look at the reporting, my average agent has been here for over 700 days at this point in time, right? So that tells me that we're doing something right, that we're adding massive value. I host a wealth building mastermind call. 3 years ago, it was me and 3 other people that started on that call. Now I have had upwards of 100 people. Those numbers are telling me that I'm doing something right. But so what am I doing today? I literally talk to, so I use CRM Grow, right? This is my tasking for today, right? So I can tell you, I have about 25 contacts to make today. And so I am so, same thing with production though. Like when I started, like people are like, oh my God, you did 60 deals a year on your own with a couple of assistants. I made 50 contacts a day for like 50 contacts. I had 3 hours. I would make 50 contacts every single day to set appointments. And so I would go on 8 to 9 appointments every single week. My skills were better than my competition. I could handle objections better than my competition. And even though I don't go, I have a couple of listings in Arizona, I don't live there, right? I still could run circles around most people because my presentation skills and the value that I add to people are so much higher. And I come in with this mantra that it is a disservice for you not to do business with me. And for all of you guys in production, that it shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to reach out to my friends because like I don't want them to not talk. Like, yeah, then don't ask them to buy or sell the home when you call them every time. Like, add some damn value to them. Oh my gosh, Jeff, like you're still in insurance? Do you know that I talk to hundreds of people every single month that are buying homes, moving here? They need insurance. Could I send referrals to you? Right? Like figure out ways to add value. I don't care what business they're in. Are they dental assistants? Oh my gosh. Does your dentist like incentivize you for driving people? Like, could I make you? I talk to hundreds of people a day that are moving here and don't have a dentist. Could I refer them to you? I don't care what industry it is, but figure out how to add value to people. Now you become more valuable. Now you become top of mind. Now, what I can tell you is with this CRM, every one of these people, right? I have 2 that I've sent videos to. So I have a video follow-up call with them today. This one's an initial appointment. And fam, oh my gosh, she probably does 40, $50 million in production every single year, right? Like she is a heavy hitter. I'm reaching out to her every single month, figuring out how I can add value to her and drive more business and stuff to her. So all of these, and I have notes on all of these, and then the ones that are colder and stuff like that, you see quarterly follow-ups. I'm just keeping up foreign, I'm keeping up foreign relations at that point in time for when the time is right. I'm not here to force the avenue or anything like that. I want to work with people that see my value and that want to be associated with me. And a big part of this, a big part of my group is on the REO and default side of things. Now I've actually brought in 3 or 4 different asset management companies. They used to be my competitors. So now we're starting to hand out listings, like same thing that I did with Carrington, because I told these guys, I was like, guys, do you know what our life looks like if we have 3,000 agents underneath us? Like, I can't even imagine. Like, yeah, like we have to buy a place in Puerto Rico or something like that, right? Like, because I don't want to get taxed on the money, so I got to start figuring out creative ways to do this. But so to answer your question, what am I doing today? I'm following up with people every single day. It's kind of like Fight Club, right? What's the first rule of Fight Club? We don't talk about it. I view the same thing with eXp, because if I'm reaching out, I'm like, Tim, how's it been going? And I'll be honest, like as many agents that I talked to, 2022 was what? These agents' best year ever. What is now with higher interest rates, with this, agents are in a bind and they are like in one of their worst cases ever, right? They're contemplating like, did I make this right decision? I'm just pre-qualifying them to find out what their problems are so I can solve it. And all of you guys have this access, like by a show of hands or chat box and stuff there. How many of you guys are on the Revenos website? Like how many of you guys have all of your certifications and stuff on Revenos? By the awkward silence, I'm going to take it not very many. Like, so hold on one second. I'm about to change your guys' life here. This is silly, guys. So the gentleman, Mark Woodling, who runs Revenos, he was an executive with me at Zone, right? So literally, we sold 4,000 homes in 3 years at Zone, right? He came over to run our business development department. So Revenos is here. So we have relocation. So these are the ones that I would make sure that you guys are signed up for. Relocation, literally sent out over 1,000 deals their first year. Don Conciatori was my broker of record for Carrington for 7 years. And now she runs the relocation department. In institutional investment services, guys, if you are not signed up for this, like if you don't plug into the tools and resources that we have at eXp, it's worthless. That's where other companies start to seem valuable. Even other like copycat companies, they have so much way to go. I have an agent in Dallas, Texas. Mark was like, man, I'm getting crushed in Dallas. Who do you have? I was like, oh my gosh, David Russell. He's a $20 million producing agent year in, year out. I coached him at Tom Ferry. He joined me after a few years and came over here. Great guy. He handles all of my REOs and stuff up in Dallas. I was like, Mark, this guy's a rock star. Do you know he has taken 108 assignments this year? Over $20 million in upcoming listing. Now he's only listed 8, but this is future inventory. Like Wayne Gretzky wasn't a Hall of Fame hockey player because he went to where the hockey puck was. He went to where it was going to go. You have to have the foresight of what's going on and what's going to create future opportunities. And it's not always instant gratification, right? So institutional investor, these are BlackRock, American Homes for Rent, OfferPad, Open Door, these hedge funds that have bought hundreds of thousands of homes that are going through disposition strategies, right? eXp REO. So I know like our average market cycle is 8 to 12 years. If our last market cycle was in 2009, we are 15 years into this market cycle. right? We have consumer debt at an all-time high. I don't think anything will change this year through the election. After that, I feel like we're in an affordability crisis with rent, with prices, etc. And I think that you're going to see a correction. And this is where, again, how are you positioning for this future? And people are like, oh, there's no REOs right now. My wife did 70 units last year. Like, I'm going to let you continue to think that way. And I'm going to keep gobbling up this market share like I'm Pac-Man, right? Just, I'm just going to eat it up. Like, cool, I don't need to talk you into this, right? It's not going to affect me one way or another, but it could change your life, right? And so this is where I help a lot of people position, not for where it's at right now. Like, if you're not making calls and stuff right now, like, you're just hoping and praying, right? Because our business is a 90-day cycle in real estate. So the work you put in now is going to pay off down the road, right? So this, and if any of you guys are in the eXp military, or if you guys are in the military or have somebody in the military that's close to you, this is a huge network. Oh my gosh, like the gentleman that runs this is absolutely amazing. And they are building more and more relationships with like Veterans United and stuff like that. So it didn't seem like a lot of you guys, like those 3 or 4 sites, like it's free business. People are like, oh, is there a referral fee? Yes, yes, there is. If I called you and gave you a piece of business, that should be gravy. That should not be what you anticipate, what you look at, right? Well, what's the referral fee? Who cares? You're not doing as much business as you want right now, right? That is free. If that gets you going in the right direction, if that creates a client that you can add to your database to set up for life, don't step over $1 to pick up a quarter. Like, that does not make sense to me. But you have to tap into these resources. Like, if you have a business plan and it's on social media and stuff like that, like, why are you not taking some of these classes that are hosted by some of the top, by some of the top agents with the largest social media followings in the country? Like, learn from them, right? Don't learn from me or Tim or Jeff. Actually, I don't know Tim or Jeff's social media following, so maybe you want to follow them, but I'm not the right person. I don't even manage my own social media, so how am I going to teach you to do that, right? So, like, guys, take advantage of that. And once you have a success story, tell the story. Like, that is key. Oh my gosh, Scott, you're having a down year. Oh my gosh, I just partnered with this group and I received 3 listings from them, which helped get me jump started. Scott, would that interest you at all?
Definitely.
Right? Like, problem, answer, problem, answer. Well, what do I have to do? Well, here, let me introduce you to one of my mentors, Tim, right? And here's the thing, like, our group, we work a lot together, right? I'm never the person that pitches, and most of my group, like, I come in for the close, right? And when we take notes and stuff on everybody, they tell me the problems and stuff like that. So to answer your question, Tim, right? I'm making contacts every single day and I'm trying to solve problems. Now, the things that have not worked, right? I tell people, look, if you're going to try something and spend money, like, tell me first. Like, I will reinvest all of this if it will double and triple this and stuff like that. I don't want you to do that and have a bad taste in your mouth. So I've tried the appointment setting people and this and that. It's taken up a lot of my time. That is my most valuable resource right now. So what I found has worked best is people that know, like, and trust, and people that I'm doing deals with, right? People that our agents are doing deals with. So now we've created a Google form. Every time somebody in my group closes a deal, I send out an email to them. I'm like, hey, hey, did you have a good experience with them? Like, I'm here to help you grow your organization just as I am mine. If you want me to reach out to them, do this. And now I've built a follow-up campaign, right? And so they just come into, it's a widget, right? We do A, B, C, and end up with D at the end of the day. It's just a widget, a machine that we've built, and I don't take it personal, right? Like that's one of the things that you have to work on, Tim, there. Like it's nothing personal. They're trying to do what's best for their family. And so I try and look at that. I'm not saying my feelings don't get hurt sometimes, but what could I have done better? Could I have communicated differently? Like, so now, like we have an onboarding specialist, like when an agent comes on, like we help get their system set up. And then I have a drip campaign essentially that reaches out to them for the first 6 months, right? And it's like, hey, did you sign up for this? Did you know that this training was here? Did you know that your broker meeting? Have you talked to your broker, right? Like the better I can get somebody to lean into all of these tools and systems, the higher success ratio we will have. Because as I showed you, the people that leave were non-productive and they didn't respond to me. Right? They didn't acknowledge, like they didn't even say, oh, Larry, thanks, right? They didn't respond, right? They were on their way out anyways, and they were just looking for, oh, maybe this will work. And this isn't going to work if you don't. I promise you that.
Yeah. Oh, great stuff. And thanks for the value add on Revenos. Phenomenal programs. I'm only doing the investor part of it where you go out and I've got a team member dedicated to doing BPOs and we're going to get the listings once those investors are, because a lot of them are downsizing, as you said. And
Yeah.
so we're putting that effort in today for the listings for tomorrow.
So how many of those BPOs have you done?
We've only done like 12 or 13 so far. And they all came in
12 to 15. That's not only, that's 12 to 15 future listings. What other company have you been at that is giving you 12 to 15 future listings?
Zero.
Right? So this is where our language becomes so powerful, especially if you're going to communicate that message with other people, right? Like if you say, oh, I only got 12 listings, like, can you believe this? Oh my gosh, I got referred 12 listings. Same conversation, same words, but how you translate that is whether the difference, whether somebody gets excited or whether they're like, oh, well, that's cute, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, Tim, can I jump in real fast, Tim?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Quick, just to comment, because Larry, what you're saying, because it reminds me, like we just put a new listing on Friday that came from eXp Relo. We're certified with that, and a couple other pieces in there. But I don't know, we've got like 4 or 5 on the market right now. From that, we've done so many of the reloads, and I think just a reminder to everybody. We had Dawn Conchatori, you mentioned her. We had her on every Tuesday. We do just like this. We do another Zoom. It's all about transactions. Today's attraction, tomorrow's transactions, and she came on and talked about bundle select. And I just want to remind everybody, like, go back and watch that video. The recording on that, because there's so many powerful tools like that. It gets me thinking, Larry, as you're talking, like I'm not using that enough as I'm talking to these agents. Because I'm calling agents every day to see who's open to looking at what we're doing over here, that kind of stuff. But you're reminding me of just all these different tools that we have that is providing business right now when everybody's hurting. I'm calling these agents, and many of these people are less than half of what they did last year at this point. Right. I mean, they're all figuring out things. One guy's driving Uber. I talked to a guy the other day, he's doing Instacart at night. So, I mean, just bring anything to bring in extra money right now, because it's just like, it's tough out there for a lot of agents, and it's just a good reminder of what we have here, and to be able to use that in these conversations as we're reaching out to agents,
Yeah, tell your story, right? This is Brett Go. Oh my gosh, one of the best storytellers, right, in history, right? Like he's like I could listen to him talk. He reminds me of like Chris Farley, right? Like he gets so excited, and like you can feel his passion. Tony Robbins, right? Like any of these, Joel Osteen, like they are storytellers, right? And so that allows you to be able to relate. Now, I think it's Svetlana was asking, okay, so, do you follow up with these folks at all? Oh my gosh, I follow up with people until they die, right? Like I have 10,000 people, like I have my admin. And so when I send that REO follow-up, literally the video goes out, right? First and foremost, then, and then I get a task to follow up with them and I send them a call. After that, they get a text that says, hey, this is Larry White. I'm texting you from my work phone. And I just wanted to see, like, I wanted to follow up on the opportunity I'd shared with you to be the preferred listing agent for those 3 separate asset management companies. Did that interest you at all? Right? And then after that, whoever referred them to me, I have them follow up with the agent as well. And I call them and say, hey, Jeff, this is the conversation that I've had. Call and say this, right? And then they go into a quarterly follow-up. And also what happens along this way is that I've connected with them on social media, right? And so now they see our daily closings, they see all the new agents, they see our success stories, right? And so this is the same thing that you should be doing. This is the same thing you should be doing in your real estate business. Every client you should be connected with on social media. You should not just be posting your open houses and this and that, right? Like my family and I, we just spent 2 weeks in Montana for our family vacation, right? We're remodeling our backyard. Like people are going through this story and this journey and stuff with us. So that way we're relatable. We're going on college tours, right? With my daughter who's 17. Oh my gosh, I went to that. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy, right? Like, and here's the thing, right? When you do this enough, right? Like if you guys are not using CRM, like KV Core or something like that, again, I think that you guys are missing the boat. It's free. I'm not the biggest advocate. Like I think it's complicated, but it's free. And it's a very powerful tool and resource. Literally, if somebody owns a home, every person that you know owns a home should be on there on at least a quarterly follow-up that says, hey, Jeff, I know that you had no desire to sell your home today, but most people love to see if the home appreciated or depreciated. Here's a snapshot. And then KV Core is going to tell me every time somebody opens that email. But it's going to send me red flags and flashing lights when Jeff opens that 5 or 6 times. That is a good time to follow up. And I'm going to call Jeff and say, Jeff, how's it going? He's going to be like, Larry, I was just thinking of you. And I would be like, no shit, this is so weird. You were thinking of me and I called. What can I do for you? The same thing happens with agent attraction. Larry, I was just thinking of you. That's so weird, right? I saw that you opened my email. Like, I'm not telling them that I'm like big brother and watching all of the things that they're doing. That's kind of creepy, right? But this is where you have to utilize this technology, no matter what form you're in, and use your testimonials, right? Like I have almost 100 5-star Google reviews from classes that I teach, etc. Like, what are you doing to show people the experience that you're giving for others? And this all is around your business plan, right? Your business plan should have how many people you're contacting, what sources you're contacting them from, what your marketing plan look like. It shouldn't be like, oh, it's Monday, what should I do today? Like, I am dialed in. I don't work as much as a lot of people, but when I work, like it is game on. That is all I'm doing, right? Like the office door is closed, right? Like you guys saw me walk away, like I closed my office door so that way people aren't coming, like this is the time to work. I am going to do more in 4 to 5 hours a day than most people will do in 2 days because it's only dollar productive behavior. That is the only thing that I focus on.
DIPA versus IPA.
Yeah. Sorry, went off on a tangent there. I don't even know what the damn question was at this point in time.
No, that you were addressing Svetlana's question about following up, and yeah, I mean, I love your CRM Grow. Many of us on this call are actually using that, and we've got some built-in follow-up plans as well. She had also asked, is that possible that you share that particular drip campaign script?
Yes,
that flow chart.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I will share, so I probably have about 100. So if you're not on CRM Grow, it's one of the cheapest CRMs that I've ever seen. It's one of the most user-friendly. So I'm gonna there's a link there for it. But if you are already on CRM Grow, let me see. I'm trying to see if I can put in a link here. So I'm gonna just type in my name. So if you go to community and put join a team, you'll need to search for Powerhouse Group, and I'll show you
Okay.
what the logo looks like here. So it's this black circle with this kind of like teal house with an energy bulb going through it, right? If you just ask to be a part of our group, I will go on there. Literally, we have all of the materials and stuff that we've made. We have all of these automations and stuff like that. You'll just have to clone them and then make them your own, right? We have templates and things like that. Like if you don't have a new agent onboarding template, well, damn, here you go, right? Congrats on your new addition. Every time somebody brings somebody on, I congratulate the person on that. Every time that somebody has a closing, if you don't have an onboarding specialist, well, here's the eXp application process. I use smart setting in the past, rescheduling appointments, right? Like, yeah, you can have it. People are like, why
That's
do you do
awesome.
that? I was like, because most agents won't use the things that I give them anyway. It's like you're talking to different people. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, let's get the stock price back up to $40, $50, $60 a share, right? Like, that's good. That's going to be better than 1 year of rev share for me for a single agent. So like,
Right.
let's continue to build this momentum at this point in time.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And thanks for sharing that automation group. We have a Freedom Team group as well on CRM Grow. For those of you that don't already know that, if you're not plugged into CRM, it's like 49 bucks a month. Great follow-up system. Let me make an assumption here. You said you have 25 calls to make today. Assuming you're doing that 5 days a week, you've got at least 1,500 or so people in your database if you're touching them quarterly. So I know you're doing a ton of follow-up. Are you doing anything in initial reach outs, cold calling, or are you doing anything to attract people to you? I mean, obviously you're incredibly plugged in, built a $3,000, 3,000 agent organization in the past. So I know you know a ton of people. You could probably just follow up forever and be hugely successful. Are you doing anything cold? And if so, what is that?
Yes. So I literally, like, again, problem solution. So what I have my VA doing right now is helping me. So I will go to like, oh, eXp relocation or investor agent services. Military is a good one, right? Let me see here. So if you go to Facebook, let's go to groups. Right, and I'm going to do military. Military realtors. So your military realtor, 9,000 people. So my assistant goes in and we target different groups every single day. Again, you don't have to have these tools and resources. They're already a part of eXp. You just have to use them. Like, I would be joining this, your military realtor, right? 9,000 people in this particular group. Oh, Anna Shima. Like, I might send a personal message that says, hey, Anna, I see that you're a military specialist. Like, I have a group that, like, I have a military referral network. They're always looking for better military specialized people. Does that interest you at all? Oh, great. Let's put some time on the calendar. Let me talk a little bit more about your experience and let's see if it's a good fit.
Love
You can
it.
do that for military. You can do that for investors. You can do that for REO. You can do that for Relo. Just use the Revenos page. And so that is what my assistant is doing kind of on my behalf, is basically setting appointments for me. And then she posts notes. Okay, look, this appointment came from ABC, boom, boom, boom. So now I know where to guide the conversation. But I don't talk about eXp, right? I don't talk about eXp on this side of things. It's just about, oh, these are military agents. They could probably use more military business. Let me see if I can connect those dots, right? Like, that's
Yep.
it. Like, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. And you're kind of guessing. But here's the thing, in my interview, I'm going to uncover, most of them do regular business and stuff as well. Most of them are down compared to the past couple of years. I'm just pre-qualifying. Similar if I'm on a listing presentation and I'm walking through the house. Oh, well, tell me about, what made you fall in love with this home? Oh, that's so great. And why are you moving? Where are you moving to? How soon do you need to be there? Right? I'm just going through my list of questions, and I ask the same questions, right, every single time. If we go to this, right, let me just kind of show you, right, on my CRM Grow, Amy Gulch, right? You can see every time I've had conversations and what I talk to her, but what's her goals, what's her actual production. She's in the process of setting up a CRM. Oh, we have a CRM. I have somebody that sets up a CRM for you. Boom, 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 right? She really wants to position for the future. What the hell did we talk about at the beginning of this call, right? Like, I'm just pre-qualifying them. And then when I follow up, I know what to talk about. I don't need to say, hey, have you heard about eXp today? Right? Like, that's what tarnished our reputation and stuff to begin with. Oh, you're just a recruiting company. Every company is just a recruiting company. What the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't know one company that's not a recruiting company. This one just allows everybody to be the owners, right? Like, it's not just one-sided at this point in time. I don't know what you're talking about. Anything else, guys?
You broke up for a second there, Larry. Everybody's a recruiting company is about the last thing I think we heard.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, every company is looking to grow. This one just shares the revenue and the wealth with everybody that's in the company, which is life-changing, right? And the more I can tell you, like, just because I've had some of your group on my calls and stuff like that, Jeff and Tim, like, they're vested in your growth. The more that you guys grow, the more that they grow. Now, don't waste their time, right? I've had some people send me a list of 400 people and they're like, hey, can you follow up with these people? I'm like, I'm happy to do so. But if I follow up with these 400, they're going underneath me. Like, now, if you pre-qualify them, if you send me over notes, if you put in some work, I will help you. Like, I'm not working, like, I will work just as hard as you and help you, but I'm not doing it for you, right? I'm going to lean in to the people, and that goes back to Tim, like, you were frustrated with the people that have left. Like, I just want to lean in to the people that want to be here, whether that's wants to be here for production, wants to be here for the attraction model. I don't care. Like, I will lean in on your home court of whatever you want that to look like. So I don't need to work with everybody, just the people that align with me.
Just like attraction, looking for those who are looking for us, right?
That's it. And there's so many
All right,
agents.
we've got just a couple. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
And I said, there's so many agents, right? Like, I still talk to people every single month that haven't heard, that don't know about eXp, which I know is crazy to us, right? We're like, oh, everybody's heard of eXp, right? Like, but here's the thing, like, I'm even bringing people back that were at eXp. Like, I had a big group, it broke my heart. About 30 people went over to Epic and stuff like that. And it's been 3 or 4 weeks since they've been paid now. I'm like, look, my arms are still open, right? Like, you always have a home, jump back on our mastermind call. Like, I want to add so much value that it is a disservice for you not to rejoin our group.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that. A lot of people that left because they didn't plug in, they weren't with the right sponsor, and they're open to coming back now because we have a 3,000 agent Freedom Team organization, for example. And if you're not talking about that, then you definitely need to. But I know we're getting right at the top of the hour. Does anybody have any last minute questions? I know this has been hugely beneficial for me. Larry, thank you again. Any questions before we start wrapping up here?
Really
Larry,
great stuff, though, Larry. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
Larry.
Jeff, I think you missed your other appointment, by the way.
No, we're good. I got it moved. Things were moved around. I was, yeah, go ahead. Somebody had a question. Was it Scott? Would you want to say something?
I was just curious if you in your calendar time block production versus rev share.
So here's the thing. My wife does the production. So I'm starting a team in Arizona. I have 2 listings there. I split those 50-50. So the only business that I personally do is the one that's referred from my clients. So again, I have a beautiful partnership with my wife. She does production, I do attraction, right? And both of us are crushing those stats. But if I'm the only one doing this, yes, I'm doing both. I'm leaning probably, depending on where you're at in production and goals, I'm probably leaning heavier towards production, because you're not going to do attraction if you're worried about how you're paying your bills and this and this and this, right? So, but make it simple. 3 contacts a day, 5 contacts a day. Every closing, you reach out to the agent and see where they're at. Like, I talk to people, oh my gosh, you're a Coldwell Banker. Man, do you love it? Right? Like, well, no, it's okay. Oh, well, why did you go there to begin with? Again, I just start pre-qualifying them, right? I'm always interested on how top producers like yourself end up places. This is where I started a podcast or my mastermind. Like, I will see rock stars on social media and reach out and be like, oh my gosh, you would be great for my podcast. I'm going to stroke that ego. Everybody loves to talk about themselves and their story. I'll bring them on. I've recruited 2 huge influencers that way, come into here, and then I just follow up and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, why are you not leveraging this more? But it's just problem, solution, wash, rinse, repeat. Oh, guys, here, this is what I will leave you with. Success is not sexy. Like, there is nothing that I can tell you, like, guys, if you sign up for this service, it's going to change your life. Like, it is not sexy. It is consistent. It is doing the same shit over and over and over again and getting better and better every single time. You have to learn to love that process. Like, that is what, and then I don't care. You could put me in air conditioning, plumbing sales, does not matter. I would translate these services and I would start building up that pipeline and that business over and over again. But if you're not working on yourself, if you're not working on your business and stuff like that, if you're not doing production, what kind of agents are you going to attract? Right? Like, people want to surround themselves with success, right? Like, you know, eagles fly with eagles, right? Like, not turkeys. I think that's one of the old KW slogans or something like that, right? Like, but it's true, right? Like, you don't want to surround yourself with a bunch of people that are, you know, like, getting ready to get out of the business. They're going to pull you down. Like, I want people that bring me up and that are like, hey, have you tried this? Challenging me, pushing me. Like, I have a group, and I'll throw this out there to you guys too. If you guys want, Tim, Jeff, I'll send this over to you. So Tony Robbins was one, like, my first Tony Robbins event in 2014 changed my life and started helping me to work, one, on myself, and then also work on just implementing things more on a consistent basis. And so last year we had 38 people like go. We all sat in this huge group, all from eXp. It was so much fun. Everybody there was like, oh my gosh, this changed my life. Our goal is to have 100 people here. We get the VIP tickets. They're generally $2,000 a ticket. I think we get them for $800. Like, if you are interested in joining us, it's in Newark, New Jersey, in November of this year. It's 4 days. You walk on fire. And let me tell you, literally 14 feet of 1,800 degree coals. When you walk across that barefoot, you're like, shit, I can do anything. Like, cold calls, no problem. Objections, no problem, right? Like, I just walked across fire, right? Like, only the next trick is, how do I walk across water? That would be the next one. I haven't figured that one out yet, though.
Awesome stuff, man. Thank you again, Larry. Anybody else? We're over. Anybody else have a question they need to get answered? All right. Thank you, brother. So nice seeing you. Appreciate pouring in. And everyone, note what is personality and tonality, his attitude. I mean, he's standing, he's upbeat, he's just getting after it. I mean, you're giving Brent Gove a run for his money in that regard, brother. So thank you again so much. Everybody, same time tomorrow, our sales mastermind, Jay Nelson, is going to be talking to us about growing globally. So really super excited to that. Freedom Team Live, Freedom Team Zoom.live, excuse me, is the link. Freedom Team Zoom.live. Thanks again, brother. See you all tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Tim.